NBA Countdown, presented by Lilly.
Hello, Detroit, the home of the Eastern Conference leading Pistons, and they've held that position in the standings since early November. Their fans are pretty 20-plus points in 6 straight games, and he's having a career season across the board. He will be taking on an Atlanta team that's won 13 of their last 14 games, and they get their first-time All-Star back, Jalen Johnson. He will be returning in this one from that shoulder injury. As we welcome you inside our Los Angeles studios, he is Brian Windhorst. He is Coach Michael Malone. That over there, the handsome one, is Kendrick Perkins. I'm Malik Anders. I'm seeing if you caught that one there. We are counting you down to the Hawks and the Pistons, and then we have Kevin Durant, the Rockets, taking on the Timberwolves afterward. We have the latest on Cade, on Anthony Edwards. Shams is joining us in just a little bit. But fellas, why don't we start the show with the best team in the Eastern Conference? Why don't we? Vroom, vroom, Motor City Perk clicking on all cylinders this season. Detroit has been the #1 seed in the East for most of the year. They led them to their first 50-win season since 2007-2008. That's also the last time they won a playoff series. And Cade Cunningham has been that spark plug. He's averaging 10 assists per game, the most by a Pistons player since Isaiah Thomas. However, Cunningham missing his 4th straight game tonight with that collapsed lung. But the Pistons, they are 8-2 when he is out this season. So for more on Cade, we say hello to our senior insider, Shams Charania, who joins us now. Shams, what is the latest on a timetable to return here for Cade?
Malik, I'm told that the Detroit Pistons are optimistic, and there is hope internally there that Cade Cunningham will be able to return in time for the start of the NBA playoffs in mid-April. But right now, he's still just 1 week removed from that collapsed lung, so he's very much in the recovery phase of the process. He's starting to do some small steps in the facility, do some small light work in the weight room, but he still has to recover from that collapsed lung. And the Pistons expect, I'm told, to have a better sense on a complete and exact timeline for Cade Cunningham in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
All right, so in the next week or so, we're going to get a bit more of a complete picture on when we could see Cade Cunningham back in the lineup. Shams, don't go too far, but thank you so much for that update. So despite leading the East by 5 games, the Pistons, look at this. They have the 4th shortest odds to win the conference. That's behind the Celtics, behind the Cavaliers.
They've only been in first place since November.
And behind the New York Knicks. You have to imagine, Brian, some of that is not knowing when Cade Cunningham is going to be back here. And Jeff Schwartz, his agent, made a statement the other day about whether or not he's able to meet the 65-game threshold. He should be All-NBA. To me, my antenna went up just a little bit. Does that mean he's not coming back?
Very clearly, between the lines is that he's not going to return during the regular season.
Right.
At least that's not the plan. And I'm just going to tell you what the scouts tell me. This is not necessarily my opinion, because I am very impressed by the Pistons. When you look at the Pistons, you want to know why they're 4th?
Sure.
Because, well, they're 1st, but they're 4th in the odds. Number 1, they get outshot from the three-point range like virtually every night. They're 28th in the league in made threes. They're in the bottom 10 in attempts, or in percentage, as you see right there. Every night they're pretty much behind. Like, they give up 2 more threes a night than they make. So obviously they start the game basically down on average 6 points. But when you talk about the high-end teams, they've had games this year, like when they played the Spurs, they made 8, 9 three-pointers less. Secondly, they feel like there's a limited number of ball handlers. That in the postseason, in a postseason game plan, they may be able to neutralize Cade a little bit. Now, Dennis Jenkins may have something to say about that. Other Pistons have something to say about that.
Recently.
But that's where people think that's what their weaknesses is.
Well, I'll be the first to admit, when Cade went out, I thought they was going to fall off like no limit. Instead, the Pistons stayed down like 4 flats on a Cadillac because of their identity.
Coach says that
they call themselves the Nasty Boys. I mix it with a little bit of ugly because that's how they win games. They win games, they junk it up, and they make the games ugly. They the only team in the league that goes opposite of where the league is going. The league is going high-power offense, scoring a lot of points. No, they said we're going to get it in the trenches. That's how we're going to win games. Jenkins talked about it. We hang our hats on the defensive side of things. Remind me of the 2004 Pistons. Nobody thought that they would be able to make that run and go beat the Lakers that year. But how did they do it? They done it because they was a defensive-minded squad from top to bottom. And so, Coach, when you look at their personnel, when you look at Asua Thomas, you look at Jalen Duren, you look at Jenkins, All of those guys are really, really good defenders, and they're still missing Isaiah Stewart, who is one of the best rim protectors in the damn game.
I think everything you just talked about and Wendy mentioned is very true. But I think the reason that they're fourth in the odds, it's not a slight on Detroit. It's who they're being compared to. Think about this. Gap year in Boston, they weren't going for that. They've been second place all season long, and they just got Jason Tatum back. They won a championship, Wendy, 2 years ago. Then you have the New York Knicks. James Dolan has put it out there. They expect to win a championship. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals just last season. And then the one team that I felt at the trade deadline that went all in was the Cleveland Cavaliers. They said, we're going out not just to get Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder, but James Harden.
Right.
So everybody's gone in, and so I think them being fourth is not just because they can't shoot. They don't have a lot of playoff experience. Is that the teams around them are really good, and that's why I think the Eastern Conference playoffs are just going to be remarkable to watch.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference, I think all of us have our eyes on how it's going to shake out. That seeding at the top of the East, certainly, but who could emerge from it? Because it does feel like while we are talking about 4 teams, any one of those 4, they all have their flaws, but they all have a huge chance to be the last one standing. The Pistons, we're looking at the sample sizes at this point, so you can see them again in our Saturday primetime matchup. They're going to be playing Minnesota at 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central Time. We'll be back with you. We all wanted to work on Saturday. The NBA Countdown crew will be tipping off coverage at 5 o'clock. And speaking of the Timberwolves, we have some new developments here on Anthony Edwards and that right knee inflammation that has kept him out here for the last 4 games. So, Shams, what's the latest on his status?
Look, I'm told that the Timberwolves will be evaluating Anthony Edwards day to day moving forward. So he could return as soon as Saturday's game against the Pistons at home or Monday in Dallas. So what he's been dealing with, from my understanding, is really soreness, some fluid, some inflammation in his knee. He needed treatment to get some of the fluid out of that knee, but now he is progressing. He's starting to do more and more on the court. All parties involved here are optimistic that he is trending in the right direction over the next several days.
All right, and the Timberwolves are 9-5 without Anthony Edwards this season. Shams, we always appreciate the news and the insight that you bring to our show. Thank you very much, my friend. And despite no Ant tonight.
And the hair, Shams.
And the hair, Shams. Katie and the Rockets, they're going to have their hands full against the Timberwolves. Wendy, he's going to tell us why seeding, it may come down to who wins this game.
NBA Countdown.
As you said, Kevin, it's an integration process, and the Celtics, with that, are still 6-2 during those 8 games.
They still play defense, and they still know how to fill it up. Tatum averaging 19 points and 9 rebounds a game since his return. Vince Goodwill, live from TD Garden. Big NBA game tonight. Coming up, much more talk about the NBA. So that means we have a 3-point play. Perk, Wendy, and Aaron Dolan offering their expertise on the Celtics Thunder matchup. Plus Ohio State, they held their pro day today, and the Buckeyes have no